and welcome to our channel MATV on Sky 711 in UK. Today we are presenting our program Kashmir in Focus. We have been presenting this program for a while now, and the purpose of this program is to do a comparative study between Indian Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh and Pakistani occupied territories of Jammu Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. Also, during this program, we try to bring to you information about developments and positivity in Union territories of Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir, as well as news about atrocities that take place on a regular day-to-day basis in Pakistani-occupied Jammu Kashmir and Pakistani-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan. Recently, a human rights report has been published by Human Rights Commission of Pakistan, and in our last episode, we discussed the human rights situation in Pakistani-occupied Jammu Kashmir. Today, we are going to look into the human rights situation in Pakistani-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan. But before I do that, I would like to describe what is happening in the Union Territory of Ladakh. You know, as all of you know, that on the 5th of August 2019, Indian Parliament passed a legislation according to which Article 370 and 35A were abolished, and that has brought a lot of opportunities, development opportunities to the previously Union territories of Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh. So in Ladakh currently, as we all know, that India has got a very serious condition with COVID-19, and everyone is trying to fight back. So the central government has already sent 3 brand new oxygen plants to Ladakh to help Ladakh with the COVID-19 situation. And in February 2020, a road has been built, which is called Olstang Dras Kargil Leh Transmission System. That has been established. The hydropower project of 220 kilowatt was approved by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And in Galwan Valley, which is you must have heard of that in the news as well, where China and India have over the past year have been confronting each other. In Galwan Valley, an all-weather road has been constructed from Darbak to Shayo to Daulat Beg Oldie Road, it's called. So apart from that, Ladakh has been allocated 5,958 crore rupees, 5,958 crore rupees for development between 2020 and 21 fiscal year, plus 50,000 crore worth of a grid connecting solar photovoltaic project is being spread across Leh and Kargil districts. 23,000 megawatt grid has been approved. The first central university with a center for Buddhist studies has been has started to work, where over 10,000 Ladakhi students are benefiting. Now, due to the limitation of our program, we only have 25 minutes. I cannot go through all the development projects that are taking place in Ladakh, Union Territory Ladakh. So I will just go over to the territory of Ladakh, which is occupied by Pakistan, and it is commonly referred to as Pakistani occupied Gilgit-Baltistan. It was occupied on the 1st of November 1948. So what do we have here? First of all, due to COVID-19, the daily wages have been badly affected. They are starving, there is no work there, and also there is long hours of load shedding, and the government has not provided them with any package, relief package. So the daily wages in Pakistani occupied Gilgit-Baltistan, or POGB as we say it, refer to it, are the worst affected. The education system has come to a total halt, and due to the lack of internet facilities and electricity as well, students have not been able to continue with the studies online. And already the health system was under strain. That strain has increased by many folds after the COVID, and lack of ventilators, lack of beds, lack of hospitals, lack of rural health centers have added to the catastrophe that people are facing due to the COVID-19. There are about 31,900 children that have yet to get some education. These children are out of the school system, and 60% of them, of these children, 31,900 children, 60% are girls. Now we know that there was elections on the 15th of November last year, very controversial elections in which the Pakistani government, governing party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, they won the election apparently and formed a government. But in the Gilgit city, constituency number 2, the results were challenged, and on 23rd of November, there were violent protests in which a government building was set alight as well as several police vehicles. So there has been continuous unrest on this issue as well. And the Diamir Bhasha Dam, they have begun the construction on Diamir Bhasha Dam in the Chalas district, which is very controversial. 110, around 110 villages have gone under the water, and people have been displaced, and they are still awaiting compensation or land for them to build their houses and compensation. So that is an ongoing tension as well between the locals and the occupation forces. Then again, the Dasu Dam, they have started to work on that as well, which is another controversial issue in POGB. In December, a delegation of political activists visited Pakistani occupied Gilgit-Baltistan, but it was known to the authorities that a political activist delegation is visiting the region, they were forcefully removed from the region. So much for freedom of assembly or freedom of association. You can't, even if you are from the same Jammu Kashmir occupied state, you cannot visit unless you have got permission. You have to apply for permission before you visit to these territories. The judicial system has totally collapsed in Gilgit-Baltistan, and it is controlled by the executive and run on an ad hoc basis. And there was a lot of uproar when a non-resident person was appointed a judge to the Supreme Appellate Court. That still remains the case. And in 2019, a new building was erected for Gilgit prison, and the prisoners were shifted into the new prison. But the inmates have constantly been reporting of abuse and violence against the inmates by the authorities. And when the opposition leader of the previous government of POGB, when they formed a parliamentary committee to visit the new Gilgit jail and meet the inmates, they were denied. They were denied permission. They were all elected members of the Gilgit-Baltistan Legislative Assembly, yet they were denied permission to visit the prison. So you can see how much freedom of information is available there. Even the parliamentary committees are not allowed to go to controversial sites. Then the blasphemy cases about blasphemy law, they have been on the increase for the past 3 years. Human rights activists and political workers are booked under blasphemy law, and that is becoming the norm. There was a lady called Hajira Sharif. She was from District Gizar, and she was booked under blasphemy law. She still remains locked up. Gilgit-Baltistan has no constitutional status. It had never had for 72 years. And for the past 11 years, Gilgit-Baltistan has no local bodies. Their government is being run without local bodies. There have been no elections for local bodies in this occupied part of Ladakh. There has been, they enacted Anti-Terrorist Act in 1997, and under that act, they have been misusing that act, which was Anti-Terror Act, it's called, and hundreds of individuals, including young people, have been booked in the past 5 years under the Anti-Terrorism Act. Now, Anti-Terrorism Act comes under Schedule 4, and Schedule 4 means that if once you come into that category, you cannot leave your village, you cannot go nowhere. You have to report who is visiting you. You have to seek permission from the local police station before you leave your village or your house or your neighborhood. Freedom of assembly is also denied. 2 students were arrested simply for organizing a non-violent demonstration against a person who was accused of sexually harassing a female student at Karakoram International University. Well, freedom of expression, I give you an example. A reporter of a local daily newspaper called Mehtab-ur-Rahman was arrested in April 2020 just because he was reporting on the appalling response by the government to coronavirus, and he was arrested. Sexual harassment, sexual violence at workplace has become norm now, and it continues. I mean, against women, it continues. Violence, denial of inheritance of property rights, and suicide has remained a concern in 2020. Now, child rights are also in jeopardy. If we see the child marriage and child abuse and violence against children has increased in the past 3 years. This is according to the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan report, which has just recently been published. Child begging and scavenging has become more common. Land grab by the army. Now, this is, excuse me, this is a major cause for concern because all the uninhabited land is considered, I mean, the bulk of the land is considered to be the property of the community, so it is common property. And the army and the state of Pakistan, through its institutions like housing authorities and other institutions, keeps on grabbing the land that does not belong to them under the name of building golf courses or extending some, already existing federal government building and stuff like that. And what happened is that in June last year, the residents of Zood Khan, the place Zood Khan in POGB, they blocked a convoy of FWO. Now, what is FWO? It's an abbreviation for Frontier Works Organization. And Frontier Works Organization is the construction wing of Pakistan Army. This convoy was carrying machinery that was to be used for mining. So there was a confrontation there. And all minerals are under the control of Pakistan. So the Federation of Pakistan, so-called Federation, is controlling every single aspect of life in Pakistani-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan. Likewise, they're also controlling every aspect of life in Pakistani-occupied Jammu Kashmir. And I was surprised to see in the newspapers today that the banned organization, a terrorist jihadi fascist organization called Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan, which was banned in Pakistan, is openly canvassing for their candidates in the forthcoming elections in Pakistani occupied Jammu Kashmir. And this is very, very concerning, because these organizations that spring up overnight in Pakistani occupied Jammu Kashmir, we have seen this previously happening as well. These organizations are sponsored by the intelligence agencies and Pakistan Army, allegedly. And they are used to send jihadis, terrorists into Indian Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, as far as Gilgit-Baltistan is concerned, I just have received a document which Ahle Sunnat wa Hadith, another fundamentalist Sunni group, they have issued a letter, a press release, in which they have said that we are not going to tolerate any abuse against the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. Now, this is an indication that Pakistani military is the political wing of Pakistani military is trying to engineer communal rights in this occupied part of Ladakh known as POGB. And in that letter, they say that it's mentioned that they are not going to tolerate any insults towards the companions of Prophet Muhammad. Now, we know that Gilgit-Baltistan is a Shia majority territory. And before that, there were Hindus there, there were Sikhs, there were Buddhists, but they all were systematically, thrown out or forced to leave. And so now the majority of Gilgit-Baltistan is Muslim. But among that Muslim community, the Shias are in majority. But a lot of people have been made to settle in Gilgit-Baltistan from Punjab province and from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, which is an attempt to change the demography of occupied Ladakh, which is POGB. So now previously they have done this as well. They have used these fundamentalist Sunni Taliban type groups that they have made to settle in Gilgit-Baltistan to stir communal violence. And with this letter that is dated 17th of May 2021, it is evident that once again communal violence is being planned to be engineered in this occupied territory. तो मैं अब थोड़ा सा अपने हिंदी दर्शकों के लिए थोड़ा सा जो इंग्लिश को थोड़ा सा नहीं भी समझते और जो गिलगित बल्तिस्तान से ताल्लुक रखने वाले यूरोप में रहने वाले लोग हमें देखते हैं हमारे प्रोग्राम को, उनको ये बताना चाहता हूं कि 17 मई को, आज 18 है, 17 मई को जो है वो जमात अहले हदीस जो है उन्होंने ये लेटर जारी किया है और ये लेटर जो है इसमें लिखा हुआ है कि तंजीम अहले सुन्नत वल जमात व दीगर दीनी व सियासी जमातों के उलमा और माहिदीन का एक अहम इजलास हुआ और इजलास में हालात पर जो है वो उन्होंने गौर व फिक्र किया और फिर ये देखें उन्होंने कहा कि एक फरीक यानी एक सेक्ट जो है ज़ाहिर शियाज को कह रहे हैं एक फरीक की तरफ से मुसलसल अमन व अमान खराब करने पर तुला हुआ है मुख्तलिफ अंदाज से सहाबा कराम की तौहीन का सिलसिला जारी है लिहाजा क़याम अमन तहफ़्फ़ुज़ नामूस सहाबा और निलतर के मजलूम के तहफ़्फ़ुज़ को यकीनी बनाने के लिए जुमला मुसलमान आईनी और जमहूरी किरदार अदा करेंगे और तौहीन सहाबा पर नामजद लोगों पर FIR दर्ज कराई जाएगी। तो वही तौहीन रसालत जो मैंने बताया है उसी को ये दोबारा से इस्तेमाल करने जा रहे हैं और मैं ये समझता हूँ कि गिलगित बल्तिस्तान की जो अवाम है وہ بہت ہوشیار ہیں, بہت سمجھدار ہیں, وہ اس چال کو سمجھیں گے اور وہ اس چال میں بالکل نہیں آئیں گے اور گلگت بلتستان کے امن و امان کو جو ہے وہ اس کو دیکھیں گے. چلتے چلتے میں آپ کو یہ بھی بتاتا چلوں کہ اس وقت جو رپورٹ آئی ہے گلگت بلتستان میں ہیومن رائٹ کے حوالے سے, ہیومن رائٹ کمیشن آف پاکستان نے جو رپورٹ شائع کی ہے, وہ رپورٹ بڑی طویل اور بڑی ڈیٹیلڈ رپورٹ ہے, اور اس رپورٹ کو میں نے تھوڑا سا بیان یہاں کیا ہے, لیکن ظاہر ہے وہ پوری رپورٹ ایک پروگرام میں نہیں بتائی جا سکتی, اس کی ہائی لائٹس دی جا سکتی. اس وقت اس رپورٹ کے مطابق جو بچوں کے اوپر ظلم ہو رہا ہے اور جو ان کے ساتھ جنسی تشدد ہو رہا ہے, اسی طرح عورتوں کے ساتھ جو کام کرنے کی جگہ پر جنسی ہراسگی ہوتی ہے, اور ان کو جو جائیداد کے جو رائٹس ہیں, حقوق ہیں, ان میں ان کو ان کی تفریق کی جا رہی ہے, ان کو وہ پوری طرح سے دیے نہیں جا رہے, ڈسکریمنیٹ کیا جا رہا ہے. اس کے علاوہ جو دیامر پاشا ڈیم کے متاثرین ہیں ان کا مسئلہ پڑا ہوا ہے, دراس ڈیم کے لوگوں کا مسئلہ پڑا ہوا ہے, تعلیم کا بیڑا غرق ہو گیا ہے, اور اس وقت جو ہے وہ گلگت بلتستان میں آکسیجن شدید کم ہے اور انفارمیشن وہاں سے نہیں آ رہی, اور پریس کے اوپر اتنی سختی کی ہوئی ہے کہ پریس جو ہے وہ, اگر آپ گلگت بلتستان کے ڈیلی نیوز پیپر اٹھا کے دیکھیں تو وہ ایسا لگتا ہے کہ پاکستان کے نیوز پیپرز ہیں, کیونکہ اس میں عمران خان اور پاکستانی سیاسی لیڈروں کے, پاکستانی اپوزیشن, ایون پاکستانی سیاسی جماعتوں کے خبریں اور ان کے بیانات لگے ہوتے ہیں, لیکن جو اور بہت کم بیانات اور خبریں جو ہے وہ گلگت بلتستان کی اس میں موجود ہوتی ہیں. اور پاکستانی مقبوضہ جموں کشمیر کو تو بالکل انہوں نے بلیک آؤٹ کیا ہوا ہے, وہاں پہ کوئی مر جائے, کوئی جیے, کوئی تباہی آ جائے, اس کی کوئی خبر جو ہے وہ گلگت بلتستان کے اخباروں میں رپورٹ نہیں کی جاتی. اور پاکستانی مقبوضہ جموں کشمیر میں اس وقت کافی ہڑتالیں ہو رہی ہیں, وہاں متاثرین منگلہ ڈیم جو ہے وہ بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں, اور انہوں نے یہ اعلان کیا ہے کہ وہ 21 مئی کو, یعنی آج 18 ہے, تو 19, 20, 21 3 دن کے بعد کوٹلی روڈ کو بلاک کریں گے, اور وہ ایک بڑا مظاہرہ ہوگا. یہ 3 مہینے سے زیادہ ہو گئے ان کو یہ دھرنا دیا ہوا انہوں نے میرپور میں. اسی طرح سے ہیلتھ ورکرز کی ڈیلی کی 2 گھنٹے کی سٹرائک جو ہے وہ کئی مہینے سے جاری ہے. اسی طرح سے لوگوں کا لوڈ شیڈنگ کے خلاف, آٹا نہیں ہے, چینی نہیں ہے, پانی نہیں ہے, ان کے خلاف جو ہے وہ مظاہرے روزانہ کی بنیاد پہ ہو رہے ہیں, لیکن ان کو رپورٹ نہیں کیا جاتا لوکل پریس میں. اس کی وجہ یہ ہے کہ لوکل پریس جو ہے اس نے ایک معاہدے پہ سائن کیا ہے کہ ہم پاکستان کے خلاف کوئی خبر جو ہے وہ نہیں چھاپیں گے, اور ہم الحاق پاکستان یعنی ایکسیشن ٹو پاکستان جو ہے اس کے خلاف جو ہے کوئی پالیسی, ایڈیٹوریل پالیسی جو ہے وہ نہیں ہوگی. یہ سائن کیا انہوں نے اوتھ, لہذا ان کے بھی کنٹرول کیا ہوا ہے. اور اس اوتھ کی آڑ میں جو آزاد جموں کشمیر پریس فاؤنڈیشن ہے, جو کہ ایک سیمی گورنمنٹ ادارہ ہے, اس کے تھرو وہ ان فریڈم آف ایکسپریشن کو کنٹرول کرتے. تھینک یو ویری مچ فار واچنگ اوور پروگرام ٹوڈے. ہمارا پروگرام جیسا کہ آپ جانتے ہیں اب ہر جمعرات اور ہر منگلوار کو شام 6:30 بجے UK ٹائم کے مطابق شام 6:30 بجے ہوتا ہے, اور آپ اس کو لائیو یوٹیوب اور فیس بک پر بھی دیکھ سکتے ہیں. میں یہ چاہوں گا کہ آپ اس پروگرام کے بعد یوٹیوب اور فیس بک پر جا کے اس پروگرام کو اپنے سوشل میڈیا چینلز کے ذریعے. And now I will see you on Thursday, same time. اپنا بہت سارا خیال رکھیے گا. تھینک یو ویری مچ.